Okay guys, let's start the session. So in the previous sessions, we created programs using for all entries to select the data from multiple tables. And after selecting the data from multiple tables, so we are combining the data into one single final
Final.
output internal table.
Final output.
Because when we use for all entries, we cannot select all the data in a single select statement. We need to write separate select statements for each table. We cannot select data from multiple tables in a single select statement when we use for all entries. For that reason, we are going to select data into multiple internal tables. And after selecting the data, we are going to merge the data into one final internal table to display the output, right? Now tell me how the select statement is going to get the data. All of you are familiar with SAP architecture, right? So where this data resides,
Service.
database, in database tables. So is it a same server or separate server database? Data
Same, sir.
Same.
application, like we use programs in application layer and we execute programs in application layer. And where the data resides?
Service.
Database,
Presentation
right?
data.
Yeah.
That is a separate server. That is a separate server, but application layer interacts with the
Service.
database layer, right? How? In background, what will happens when you write some select statement? Some select statements into some internal table. Now, when you execute the program, what will happen? From where the select statement is going to get the data? First, tell me what type of select statement it is. What type of SQL it is? Is it a native SQL or open SQL?
Open SQL. It is open SQL.
It's open SQL. Then what is the next step? Happens in background. In background, when you execute the program, in background, this native SQL will be this open SQL will be converted into
Native SQL.
native
Native SQL.
SQL. This will happen in background. We don't need to worry about it. Then what will happen? Then how this SQL query is going to get the data? Where the data resides? In database,
Service.
right? In some table, in some table. For example, let's assume this as EKKO table, which is in the database, right? Now what will happens? A database where we write the select statement, in which layer? In which layer we write
Application.
this select statement?
Presentation layer. Present.
Presentation.
Very good, very
Present.
good,
Present.
very good. You are saying very confidently, okay? But it is the wrong answer. So this select statements will execute in application layer. As a user, we are using presentation layer to just type it, right? But where exactly it will execute?
Application.
Application
Application
layer.
layer, okay? We are using that presentation layer just to type it and just to press execute. That doesn't mean that it's going to execute in a presentation layer, right? Now, to get the data from database layer, what it needs to do? It needs to connect with the application layer needs to connect with database layer. For this, it will use a DB connection. Once the DB connection is open, it will go and search for the records in EKKO table as per your where condition. It will filter the data and it will return the data to which layer? Application layer. For example, you are using select star, right? And we are not using any where condition. Now what it will select? It will select all the data available in EKKO table. Yes or no?
Yes,
We are
sir.
not
Yes.
using any where condition, right? We are not filtering the data. We are selecting all the fields and all the records available in EKKO. For example, the data size is 5 MB. Whatever the data we are selecting is 5 MB. Now it needs to transfer the data into this application layer internal table. So we store the data temporarily in internal table, right? So this data will be stored in this internal table. Next, you are writing select statement on. Next, what will happen? Once the data is populated to internal table, database connection will be closed. Then again you are executing one more select statement. Then what will happen? Again the same process. Database connection will open and it will select the data from that corresponding table and it will place that in some internal table or work area in the application layer level. So this process will continue for all the select statements. Now, how many times the program has to interact with the database layer? In this example,
Number of
two
times.
times. Since we have two select statements on EKKO, EKPO, it needs to interact with the database for two times. It has to request for connection. It has to read the data for each select statement. Now, if you are writing 10 select statements, how many times the program has to connect with the database?
10 times.
10 times. That's what happens when you are using for all entries to select the data from multiple tables. So every time it has to interact with database. So it will take some time, right, to connect with the database and get the data.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But if you write only single select statement to select the data from multiple tables, then how many times the database connection needs to open?
One time.
Only one time.
One.
Only one time, right? And it will select the data from all multiple tables by joining all those multiple tables. For that, what we use to select the data from multiple tables using a single select statement by combining the data. What we use? Joins.
Join.
Use joins so that we can avoid connecting database multiple times. Okay, we can avoid connecting database multiple times. For each select statement we can connect only once. We can improve the performance. But there are some limitations. Of using joins. When we join many tables, there also will sometimes we get performance issues. So when it is connected with the database, then it will take time to combine all those multiple tables data. There also will sometimes we face
Yeah.
performance issues when we are not using proper join conditions, which includes the primary keys, right? If we use non-primary key fields in the join conditions, then it will take some time to execute the select statement to combine all that data. There are some limitations too, but performance wise in S4HANA environment, joins are preferable. But when joins are not suitable, we can go for all entries. If you observe in new ABAP syntaxes, so we can join In new ABAP syntaxes, we can join internal tables with database tables. But in older syntaxes, we can join only database tables. But in new ABAP syntaxes, if you have some data already there in internal table, you can join, you can combine the data with the database tables. And we can use joins and for all entries in same select statement. Okay. You can use for all entries also in join statement. For example, let's say you have some data which is already in some internal table, which is already there in some internal table. You can pass the data as input for that select statement with join. Okay. What you are saying? So I have some records in an internal table. Now I am creating a select statement to select data from multiple tables using join statement. But to select data from all these multiple tables, what is the input? The data which is already there in the internal table. Okay. At the time we can use both for all entries and joins together. Okay. So when to use for all entries and when to use joins, it depends on our requirement. Okay. If we are using all primary key field combinations, right? We are joining multiple tables by their primary key fields. Joins are preferable, we can use. But when we are using non-primary key fields, we'll get duplicate records in joins that we need to observe. Okay. Now, what is a join? Joins are used to combine data from multiple tables. It will combine the data and provides one result set, combination of fields from multiple tables. One record contains fields from multiple tables. When we use for all entries, what we did? We selected the data from individual tables into individual uh, internal tables, and we defined one final structure with all the combination of different tables, and we merged the data into all these final output. But here in joins, you can select a final data, right, from multiple tables. But what is the prerequisite? There should be a common field between
Common field.
table A and table B.
Both tables.
Table A and table B, or table B and table C. Okay, table A and table B, table A or table C, or table B or table C. You don't need to have common field in all the tables. Okay, you don't need to have common field in all the tables, but there should be two tables which should have common field. For example, if you take EKKO, EKPO, there is a common field, that is EBELN, purchase order number. And then if you take EKPO and MAKT, there is a common field, that is material number,
Material.
right? So one common field should be there. So what is a join? Join uses to combine the data from multiple tables. Okay. When you don't need any calculations on the data, right? When you need to just select the data from database tables and display it, then you don't need to define any final output structures and you don't need to write any loop statements when you are using joins. Okay. But if you need to apply some calculations on the selected data, then we need to go for a loop statement. We need to loop the data and we do the calculations and we need to prepare a final output. Okay. If you don't need to apply any calculations or conditions on the selected data, you can directly use it as a final output. Clear? So what are the
Yes,
different
sir.
types of joins? Inner join. What is inner join? Selects the common records available in both tables, table
Both
A and table
tables.
B. If you observe here, it will select only the common records which are available in table A and table B. Let me show you an example. Observe this example. So we are selecting data from in observe the inner join. So what is the property of inner join? Inner join selects the records available in both tables. Common field should be available. Okay, there should be a common field. Here if you observe EKKO and EKPO tables, so in EKKO we have 10 and 200, two records. In EKPO we have 10 and 100 and 300. In EKKO we have 100 and 200. Now what is the common record between both tables?
100.
100.
100 is
100.
the
100 is the
common
common.
record. So inner join will select only 100 record and ignores 200 and 300.
Yeah.
Right? 200 is in EKKO, 300 is in EKPO. But 200 is not in EKPO, 300 is not in EKKO. That's why it will ignore both 200 and 300. It will select only common record which is available in both tables, that is 100. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is the join condition. EKKO EBLN equal to EKPO EBLN. That means 100 is the common record. Whatever the common records it will select. That is inner join. Okay. Now what is the other join? Left outer join. This one. Left outer join. What is the property of left outer join? Select the all records.
Records.
Select the all records from left side table and only common records from right side table. Only common records from right side table. So when the data in the left side table is important, that means when the data from uh, for example, left side table is the header table. When the header data is important and item level data is optional, then we can use left outer join. If you have item level data, select it. Otherwise, ignore. What will happen when we apply the left outer join? If the record is available in both tables, it will select data from both table fields. It will populate the table A fields and it will populate the table B fields. But when data is available in table A and the same record is not available in table B, what it will do? It will select data from table A and leave the table B fields blank. But it will select the data from left side table. Okay. From the right side table, it will select whatever the records matched. Clear? So when we use left outer join, when data from one table is mandatory and the other table is optional. If there is a data, display it. Otherwise, leave it blank. Then we go for left outer join, because if you are applying inner join, the data should be available in both tables. Otherwise, it won't select the record. The join statement or select statement will fail. Okay. And the right outer join, it is just opposite. It will select all the records from right side table and only common records from left side table. Check the example. This is left outer join. So we have 100 and 200 in left side table. Left side table is nothing but EKKO. Right side table is nothing but EKPO. Okay. So now we have 100 record and 200 record in this left side table EKKO and 100 and 300 in right side table EKPO. Now which record it will select? If we
100.
are using left
100.
outer join, it will select 100 and 200. It will select 100 and
200.
200.
But 200 is not available in EKPO, right? So whatever the
Yes, sir.
fields
Yes.
available in EKPO, those fields will be blank. Rest of the fields contains data. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
it is
sir.
right outer join, opposite to left outer join. And here if you see the example, so left outer join with three tables. Left outer join with three tables. Then which data it will select? If you observe this carefully, purchase order number 100, 200 is available in EKKO, 100, 200 is available in EKPO. But purchase order in EKPO, what is the data we will be having? For example, observe this for 100, purchase order 100, what is the material number? 101.
100.
For purchase order 100, what is the material number? 101. Purchase order 200, what is the material number?
300.
300.
300.
300 is the material number. Now observe here in the MAKT table, uh, is that data available? Is that material sorry, which one? 101 available in MAKT?
No, sir.
No, right? Then what it will do? It will select purchase order number from EKKO, purchase order data from EKPO, and leave 101 as blank here like this. 100 from EKKO, MAT10 from EKPO, but material text will be blank
Yeah.
because that's not available in MAKT. If you are using inner join, instead of left outer join, if you use inner join, what will happen? It won't select
In the
100. It won't select 100 because material number corresponding to the 100 is not available in MAKT. So in this case, what you can do? You can apply inner join and EKKO, EKPO, and left outer join on EKPO and MAKT because material text is optional. Material text is optional, but purchase order data is mandatory. In this case, what I will do? I'll apply inner join on EKKO and EKPO and left outer join on MAKT table. Then data will be displayed like this. If you observe second record 200, purchase order 200, 200 is available in EKKO and EKPO. What is the material of 200? Material 300, right? Material 300 is available in MAKT also. Then data will be displayed like this. 200 material number and cement is the material text. But for 100, material text is blank because that is not available. Okay. When we use inner join,
Okay.
and when we use left outer join.
Inner join display the only matched values.
When we need to select only matching records from multiple tables. If the data is available in all the tables, then only select the record. Otherwise, don't select it. Then we use inner join, right? But data from one table is mandatory and data from other table is optional. Then we go for left outer join. Because if you use inner join, it's not going to select any data if the matching records are not available, right?
Yes, sir.
So in this example, material text is optional for me. If the material text is available in the table, just display it. Otherwise, leave it. Leave it blank. But purchase order data is mandatory. For that, I'll use inner join. For material text, I use left outer join. You can use combination of both joins. Depends on the requirement. Okay, clear? So let's create one program. Let's see, first apply join on our custom tables. We created some tables for employee data, right? This is employee master table, and we created one table for salary, I think. I don't remember. Z star EMP star sal F4. It will find by that keyword. Let me find some records. 101, 103, 200. 101, 103, 200 is not available. Anyway, we have some records, right? We have some records, right? We'll use this table. We'll use this table to display the or create the join 102, 103, 200. That's fine. This data is enough for us to create the join. Do we have one more table? Any other table? Let me check. Guys, it is very important for you to have clarity on this concept. Then only you can choose a better option between for all entries and joins. Okay? When you are creating a program, don't by heart the definitions. You should understand the concept. Okay, let's join these two tables and then we'll create program on some standard table data. What is this program? This application I am creating for employee salary data, employee salary report. By looking at this name, can you tell me the functionality here? So the user is expecting to display the employee salary. Employee salary. Now you need to ask. So I'm creating a program, but tell me, do you want to see employees who did not receive the salary, or you want to see employees only who got the salary? This question you need to ask. Hey, do you want to see all the employees who got the salary and who did not receive the salary, both? Or you want to see only the employees who received the salary? Or you want to see only employees who did not receive the salary? Or you want to see both? You need to ask this question, right? I'm taking some input, EMP ID as input, but I'll make that as optional. If you enter employee ID, then it will select only that employee ID data. Otherwise, it will select all the data. For that, what we need to define? Parameter or select option. If user enters the data, it should select only that employee ID. If user did not enter any data, it should select all the employee ID's data. Now tell me, which one I need to use for that input, for that kind of input? Parameter or select option? If user enters the input, select only that employee ID. If user did not enter any input, select all the employee IDs. To define that such kind of input, what I need to use? Parameter or select option?
Parameter.
Parameter, I've clearly explained in the previous session. If you use parameter, it will search for the exact value in the select statement. If we don't enter anything, parameter will be blank, right? Then what it will search for in the table? A blank value in employee ID field, empty value in the employee ID field. Got it? If you don't enter anything, what will be available in parameter? Space, right? Empty space, right?
Yes.
It will also search for empty space in the table, in the employee ID field to filter the data. Okay? If you use parameter always check for exact value. What is the other option we have? Select option. What the select option will do?
If it is blank, it select the all the
It
records.
will ignore the where condition. If it is blank, the select option is blank, the where condition will be ignored and it will select all the records. But if parameter is blank, it will search for a blank value. Okay? It will select records where employee ID equal to space or blank.
Empty. Yes.
But usually, since it's a primary key field, there is no chance of empty blank values, right, for employee ID. Then it's
Yes,
not
sir.
going to select anything. Clear? Okay. You have to think. We have already discussed all these topics. Difference between parameter and select option. It is an important interview question. If you use parameter, it will check for the exact value in the table. If you don't enter anything, select statement will fail. If you are passing the parameter in where condition, then there should be a value in the parameter. Okay? But select option, if you enter the values, it will select only those specific values. Otherwise, it will select all the records. What are the sequence of events in the report? Initialization to pass the
At
default
selection.
values to selection screen input. At
At
selection
selection
screen
screen.
for validation,
Start.
selection screen input validation, and start of
Start.
selection for
Start of
business
selection.
logic,
Business logic.
end of selection to display the output. Okay? End of selection is not mandatory to display the output, but we have some concepts like HR ABAP. There it is mandatory to use end of selection, but here also you can use, but that is not mandatory. This is the sequence of the events. Always remember, 99% interviews they'll ask question on events. Okay? If you attend 10 interviews, in 9 interviews you will get this question. You should explain in sequence. Okay? Maybe let me complete it. Now select. I'll use select star. Okay? I'll use select star. First I'll apply for all entries. Clear? And then we'll convert it into join. Select star from ZDemo. What is the table name? ZDemo employee into table
Table.
data. Where? What is the field name? EMPID. id equal to lt underscore, sorry, select option, right? so underscore emp
EMP
id.
ID in
Not in, it is
in
then if sy hyphen sub rc equal to 0, next what is the data we need to select? Salary data, right? Employee salary data. If sub rc equal to 0, rule 1 should not be empty, header data should not be empty. If sub rc equal to 0 means, sub rc equal to 0 means we are able
other
to
data
select
should not
at
be
least,
empty.
we are able to select at least one record. So there is one record. Then select star from, what is the salary table? Into table
LT underscore EMP sir.
where, now do we need to select all the employees data or only employees that we selected here?
Employee that we are
Oh,
selected before
Here,
the internet.
but if
Yes.
you observe here, we have a direct select option on employee id. We are using same condition on both tables. Here in this case, ideally for all entries is not required, but just apply it for all entries in which one? lt underscore emp data, where emp id equal to hyphen emp id. Since we have taken employee id as the input, for all entries may not required here, because we can directly pass select option, right, on both header table and salary table, because employee id is available in both tables, right? In this case, for all entries may not be suitable, not required, but still we can apply. Since it's an example, we'll use it. Now what we need to do, but for all entries we need to follow two more rules, right?
We have to sort the
sort.
record.
Sort.
Sorting order.
Since employee id is a primary key, there is no chance of duplicates. Again, just take it as an example. Employee id, then I don't want to do this on the actual internal table. Since it's a primary key, it won't find any duplicate records and it's not going to delete any data. Let's assume employee id is a non-primary key fields, then we are going to find some duplicates and we are going to delete some records, right?
Yes, sir.
So at that time we are going to lose some records, which should will display in the output. So to avoid that, we'll use a
Wait. Temporary.
Temporary.
temporary
Compare.
internal table to apply for all entries rules, and then delete adjacent duplicates from comparing empid.
PID.
But this statement will fail because employee is the primary key. It may not be able to find duplicate records. Now use temporary internal table instead of original one in for all entry statement. Now what is the next step? We need to loop. Which one we need to loop? Ideally
M plus lens.
one, like we need to loop the n internal table, right?
Yes, sir.
But here if you observe, employee id is the only primary key in both tables. Both are one only. Now like you can loop any table. Here also you can find only one record for employee. In salary table also you can find only one record for employee. Okay, you can loop any table. because we are not maintaining multiple months data in employee salary table, because that's not a primary key, right? Month ID is not a primary key. So we can maintain only 1 month record for each employee. So both are one, right? You can loop any internal table. Let me loop salary data into, I'll define one in work area with inline
Work area.
declaration. Hmm. What's the next step?
Move corresponding.
Hmm. But we did not define any final work area, right?
Yes.
Types. Let me define one final structure and list out the fields which you want to display. Oh, I don't have data elements. Anyway, I'll use types. What is that? Char 10, char 40, city char 30, phone. I don't want phone. And remaining fields I'll use from this table, month ID and salary. I have data elements here, month ID and salary. Now just use move corresponding. Since whatever the fields we are selecting here and the field names what we are maintaining in the type structure are same, right? We have taken same fields as table, right? Then we can definitely use for move corresponding. If field names are different here, we need to use field to field mapping. Move corresponding ls salary to ls final,
Final work
and
area.
then we need to have header data, right? Employee master data. For that, what we need to use inside the loop? Do we have multiple records for each employee in employee master data? No, right? Only single record. We can use a read statement. Read table lt. What is the table name? Emp data. Don't use the temporary internal table. Into define one work area using inline declaration. How to pass the condition? Which record you want to select with the key emp id equal to which one? This one. Whatever the
Yeah. What?
employee we are
Salary.
currently looping, hyphen emp id. Or you can also take this instead of salary work area, you can also take final work area, because we have already populated the employee id right here in this statement using move corresponding. Employee id should be already populated to this final internal table. You can also use this. But if you are not using move corresponding, value will be blank. In that case, use this. Okay. But if you have already populated the data to final internal table, you can also use a final work area in the condition. If sy hyphen sub rc equal to 0, what does that mean? Read statement is successful. Then move corresponding
Move corresponding.
lsemp data to ls final. But if you use field to field mapping, right, there is a slight performance improvement, so that system doesn't need to search for matching fields, because we are directly showing the clear path, right? If you use field to field mapping, okay? But if you use move corresponding, it needs to search, it needs to compare, and it needs to populate, okay? Preferably do field to field mapping, but there are more fields, hundreds of fields. That is waste of time, okay? And then at the end, up.
Append final work.
So clear the work areas after populating the data. So use this CLDemo output to just display the sample data. Now execute the program. I did not maintain the selection text. How many records we are able to select? 2 records, 102 and 103. Why? Let's check the data. Go to the table. Always compare your output with table records. We have a lot of records in employee master table, but what are the matching records between both tables? We are looping employee salary data, right? We are looping employee
Yes, sir.
salary data. So how many records we selected? 102 and 103.
103.
But ideally it should select 200 also, right? Why it did not select 200? Why it is not appending? There are 3 records in salary table, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it the same table we are using? Let me check it first. I think we might be using different table. No. Maybe let's copy from the program. What is the table we are using? ZDemo 10A EMP salary. Huh. See, yeah, it's fine, right? Because we are using for all entries. We are not using direct select option, right? We are using for all entries. That's why it is selecting only the records, matching records between both tables. But if you use select options, sorry, if you use select options without using for all entries, let me use select options here in so underscore emp id. Now how many records we can expect? 3 records, because it will just select by employee id, not by the corresponding records of the employee master data. Now it will select 3 records which are available in this table, right? But if you use for all entries, it will select only the corresponding data which we have selected from header data. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Let me remove this equal to F8. So it will select the header data, and it will select then it will select the corresponding entries of header data from item data using for all entries, and we are merging it. Okay, Now let's loop the employee master data. Now how many records will be appended? Now instead of salary data, loop employee master data. Now all the records from employee master data will be selected and corresponding salary data will be populated. Let me create it like this. Just reverse it. Okay, when you are practicing, just reverse this. Instead of salary data, loop employee master data and read employee salary data. Then you can see all the records from master data and only corresponding data values from salary data. Now I'll introduce one more thing that is very important thing, binary search. So we use binary search in read statement. What is the binary search? It is common, like whoever gone through some computer background degrees, right? You might come across the binary search. There are different search options. So what the binary search will do, for example, there are 100 records in this employee master data internal table. Now we are searching for one employee ID, right? Now we are searching for one particular employee ID, right? How it will search for that employee ID in this internal table? It is very important. Please concentrate. Let's assume you are searching for employee ID 100. That is available in which position? 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth position, right? If you write normal read statement, how it will search for that employee ID? How it will search for that employee ID? First, that will search here in the first
Manual.
position. If found, then move that record into work area. If not found, it will search in the second position, third position, fourth position until it is found. Since it is in the fifth position, so now read statement is able to move that particular record to work area. Now if it is in the last position, it needs to search until this last position, right? One by one. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Needs to search by one. If we don't use binary search, but if we use binary search, what will happen?
it will
It will
select.
divide. It will divide into two equal parts. Now after dividing, our employee is here. Now it will search A part and B part parallelly, right? In the second part, it is in the first position only, right? For example, these are 100 records. It will make 50 records as one part and 50 records as another part and search parallelly. Now it is very faster, right, to find that employee ID. It don't need to search for all 100 records, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It needs to search for only 10 or 15 records, depends on its position. Okay. For example, if it is at the end, this 100 employee ID is the 100th record, that is in the 100th position. If you don't use binary search, after searching how many records we can found? After searching 99 records, we can find this employee ID, right? If you don't use binary search. But if you use binary search, we need to search only maybe 49
Records, sir.
records, right? Because it will divide 100 records into two parts. Now we need to search only 49 records. It will improve the performance, right?
Yes.
Is everyone clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So it will divide the records into two parts and search parallelly. Search at the same time in the first part and second part. So it don't need to search for all the records. So for that, what we need to use? Binary search. But there is an important mandatory prerequisite to use binary search. This table, on which table we are applying this binary search? LTEMP data, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the field we are using to search?
Right.
Employee.
EMPL.
Employee ID. This should be sorted. Clear? This should be sorted. We should not use binary search without sorting the internal table. It will provide incorrect results. Even the record is available in the table. It won't provide you correct output in the read statement. If you use binary search without sorting, internal table. Okay? This internal table has to be sorted by the field which you are using in condition. Binary search very important. It's also a mandatory interview question. What is the prerequisite to use binary search? The
Internal
internal
tables
table
will be
should be in
sorted
sorted out.
according to
Otherwise, it will provide incorrect output
values.
or the read statement will fail. What is the use of binary search? To improve the performance of the read statement. What is the use of binary search?
To improve the performance of the register.
To improve the performance of the read statement. Okay. What is the prerequisite?
Internal table should be sorted.
Internal table should be sorted.
Please remember, it's a very important interview question. It will definitely improve the performance. You got the concept right? What the binary search will do? It will divide total result set into two parts and it will search parallelly. For example, one guy is searching. There are some 100 different color balls. There are 100 different color balls in a bag. Only one guy is searching for a red color ball. Only one guy is searching for a red color ball. How much time it will take? Then there is another alternative. There are two guys. I've divided those 100 balls into 50-50 into two different bags and I asked these two guys to search at the same time. One guy is using bag 1 and the other guy is using bag 2. Both are searching at the same time. Now which one will be faster? Searching in single ball by one guy is faster or searching in two different bags by two different guys are faster?
Two different bags,
Two
two
different
different
guys
bags.
are faster, right?
Yes.
So that's what binary search will do. It will divide into two parts and search in parallel so that we can find the record easily. So this way it will
Yes.
improve the performance. Okay.
Clear,
And
sir.
don't ask me what if the ball is on the top of the bag. Okay. Even one guy also just pick it. For example, this 100 record is the first record. In that case, we don't need to search for all rest of the 99, right? Even if you don't use binary search, it can easily read that record. But we don't know, right? Every time that 100 record is in the top position or not.
Yes.
Okay. So we thought of starting on joins and We are discussing something. Now let's replace this with joins. I'll comment this. I don't need type structure. And I'll comment this as well. Let's apply join statement. Select what is the table? Table name. Tilde operator emp id. We need to use this tilde operator to separate, to define the field from which table it is. Okay, we need to define using this tilde operator when you are using joins. And I'll select some city. City is also there, I think. Name, right? emp underscore name. We can use alias names instead of using tables. Okay, I'll show you that. Now, from the other table, from the employee salary table, I just need employee salary. Tilde operator, salary, or month also there, right?
Yes.
Is that month ID or just month? I think it is month ID. It seems month is the reserved field for SAP. That's why we did not use. From which table? Left side table.
Table.
Left side table. This is left side table. Remove comma here. This is left side table. Inner
Join.
join. What is the right side table here? This one. Salary table.
Salary table.
So we are asking to join two tables, employee master data and employee salary data. Now we need to provide the condition, right? How you want to combine both tables? On. By using on, provide the join condition. Tilde operator. What is the common field? Employee ID equal to
Salary table. EMPA.
emp ID. And you can filter the data by using where condition. Sorry,
Yes.
into table.
Table. At the rate data underscore.
And you can filter the data by using where condition as per selection screen inputs. Okay, here also you need to use tilde operator to mention the field name, because employee ID is available in both tables, right? It is available in employee master table and it's available in employee salary table. Here you need to define on which table field you want to filter the data. Okay, I'll comment this. I don't need this. LT final. Okay, we are not using it. Let's replace it with our new internal table, which we are using in joins. That's it. Now, what is the type of join we are using? Inner join. What is the property of inner join? It should select data which is available in both tables.
Both
What
tables.
should be available? City? No, right? Whatever the fields we are using in join condition. Employee ID, right? So the same employee ID
Yes, sir.
record should be available in both tables. Now execute. I'm displaying the data here. I'm not using sub RC. How many records? 102 and 103. Now let's check the table data. This is employee salary data. Here we have 102, 103 and 200. 102, 103 and 200. Go to employee master data. 102 is there, 103 is there, but 200 is not there, right? But here 100, 101, 104, 105 is there. But in salary, we don't have 101, 102 and 104, 105. That's why it is selected only that matching record 102 and 103. Okay, clear? Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let's apply left outer join. Remove inner join, left outer join. What is the left side table here? See, just observe left side, right side. There is no rule. What is the table that is available on your left hand side? This table, right? And this is available
Yes.
in your right hand side. This is your right side table. That's it. Okay. Now, if you apply left outer join, what will happen? It should select all the records from this table
That's
and only matching records from
Right side,
right
right side
side.
table.
right side table.
That's it. I've changed the join condition. Now let's check the data. You can keep a breakpoint like how it is working. Execute. Observe this. It selected all the records from employee master table. Observe this. Same records, right?
Yes, sir.
Selected all the records from employee salary table, master table, and only matching values. Only these records 102 and 103 contains the values in salary data, right? Only those two fields are populated. Remaining all are
Empty.
blank.
Zeros.
Did not select data from right side table. So when the salary data is optional, we can use left outer join. When your user asked you to create a program to display employees and their salary, even though they don't have salary, display the employees, then we can use left outer join. If they ask you to display employees who's having salary and they don't want to see the employees who's not receiving any salary, then use would join inner join. Now then it will display only records available in both tables. So simply uh, do your analysis and select the join. Okay, do your analysis and choose your join. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Similarly, you can apply joins on multiple tables. You can apply inner join on two tables and you can apply left outer join on one other table. You can use combination of inner join and left outer join also. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
So in the next session, we'll apply joins on our standard business data like sales orders, purchase orders. We'll see more than two tables, how to apply joins on more than two tables. But it is very easy. But what is very difficult here? You need to understand the requirement. You need to understand the requirement. You don't need to really worry about writing join condition. You don't need to really worry about syntax because let me just show you. Just search in Google. So we have chat GPT also in these days. We can easily generate the
Yes.
right. Look, you can have many examples. Only thing is you need to know what you need to search. What you need to search. You can find lot of example programs. Okay. You can find a lot of example programs as well. Observe this, right? Observe this. Is it going to work? Observe this select statement. Is it going to work? Observe the syntax carefully. They are using select option to filter the VBL and data. Is it going to work? They are not using in, right? They are using equal to.
Yes.
Let's try equal to. So it's not working. There is some error here. There are like that. Like see, if you don't know anything about this, you are going to blindly use this code, right? And it won't work, right? You have most of the code, but there is one small error, right?
Yes.
There is one small error. If you don't know the concept, if you don't know the join concept, if you don't know how to use select options, if you just want to copy and paste, it won't work, right? You need to know the concept, you need to understand how they are going to work, and you can use different sources to write the code, right? For that, you need to understand the basics. This is the best example. Here they are not using in. Yes,
Yes,
Yes, sir.
but we have most of the code, right? If you want to select data from VBAK, VBAP and MARA, if you want to add few more fields, you can add like this. So that's what you don't need to really worry about writing the program, a complex program. You need to understand the basic things. Then you are going to combine all those basic concepts into one complex program. Remember that. Okay. I'll show you one more thing. Here you can use alias names also. You don't need to use complete table name here. You can also use alias names. So how to use alias names? Like this. From table as
yes.
A, and this table I'll name it as B, and wherever I am using this table, instead of table name, what I can do use Control
Yeah.
F. I'll just manually replace. I'll replace it with A, and I'll replace this with salary table with B here as well. A and B. A. That's it. It won't make any difference, but it looks simple, right? You don't need to use large table names by using alias names. You can name A, B, C, D, E, F. Depends on the number of tables we are using in the join. Okay, clear?
Yes,
Another
sir.
option, you can change the field names also using alias names as like this. Okay. And in the next session, we'll see how to join the actual standard tables, and we'll also see how to join internal tables and how to use joins and for all entries together. But before that, you need to practice this basic inner join and left outer join. Okay.
Okay.